I'm actually Janice's daughter. She was Aunt Audie to me. I never knew her actual first name, Alison, so I always refer to her as Aunt Audie. Anyway, the only real memory I remember about her is because we never really hung out that much, so I only got to see her based on when my mom comes by and sees the family. So it's very vague for the memory. But what I remember is we had gone to a wedding. I can't remember who it was for, but Aunt Audie would talk about her cabin she had up in Tahoe, and she would talk about it, and it got me very curious to see what it's like to be in a cabin because I've never been in one before. You know, being a young kid, you're like, ooh, cabin, you know. So I asked Mom, I said, Aunt Audie, if I can go to the cabin with her one of these holidays when I have some time off from school and all that. And so they did. They planned the time for me to do it and all that. And I remember, I'm not sure if this was a house that I had came to stay with her for the night before we went on our trip. I was very young, so it's like my memory can't really remember. But going on the trip with her from where we were, I think it was her house, I'm not sure, but she would talk a lot of stories to me, and I can't remember the stories what she said, but she would always point out plants and stuff on the way on our travel and explain what type of plants that was. And you know, you being a kid, you're not really interested in that, you just want to go have fun, you know. But I tried to focus on what she would talk about, even though that's not really where my brain was really focusing on, but it was more like cabin. But going up to the cabin and seeing the beautiful the outskirts and like having that time with her and actually kind of getting to know her a little bit, even though it wasn't for like a long period of time, it was really wonderful because I got to see a side of somebody that I don't normally see that often. And I know she was a very sweet and caring person, and that time with her was very fun. I mean, you know, we went to the lake, which was really freezing. I didn't know how cold that was. I was like, oh my gosh. And then her just talking about, you know, her life, a little bit about her life. The cabin was beautiful. I remember going into the main part and seeing the old iron
stove.
Yeah, the old stove. It's old to me because I've never seen one like that. But yeah. And then having that cabin and hearing the waterfall next door, and you know, those are the memories that like was pretty much all different because that's all I remember being a young child. But I really enjoyed that time with her, and I remember distinctly telling my mom, I was like, Mom, I want to have more time with Aunt Audie because I don't really know much about my family because we hardly ever go out and see anybody. So it's like those moments were cherished by me because that's something that really stuck out to me because that was the only real time I actually got to know her more than I did being a young child. So not being able to see her anymore except for certain occasions, it really broke my heart a little bit because I did want to know more about my family. And because I have two sides, I have my Samoan dad's side and I have my mom's side. So it's like this, like, okay, you know. But having that memory with her was really wonderful. Like, I wish I could have more of that with her. And I'm so sad that she's not here now for me to just give her a hug and, you know, be able to show my appreciation and love for her, trying to spend time with me, you know. But that was the best memory I had.
And that in itself is a hug.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Leah, and I knew Alison back in the 70s when we went to Cal State Hayward together, and we played a lot of music in the orchestra and chamber music together. And then for her senior recital, as you know, she had her 4 children and then went back to college because she was at UC Berkeley, and then she had her children, and then she finished up at Cal State. I was in my 20s, I think she was in her late 40s, or I'm not sure. But anyway, I did a dance for her senior recital, and she was in a string quartet, and I was doing a Renaissance dance for her senior recital. And we got to know each other through our music. And then later on, I found out I went to the church after I had my kids. I went to the same church, and there she was. And she was just this wonderful, smiling, friendly face that was so welcoming, and she was just friendly to everyone. And then through the Sierra Solos, we were there again, hiking, and what a hiker she was. You know, she's strong, and she was not a spring chicken, and she was hiking, and she was just really, I admired her strength and her ability and her friendship and telling beautiful stories. And she did talk about her family. I knew she loved her family, and you know, they were very, very special. So I really enjoyed being with Alison, and I feel blessed that I got to know her.
It's interesting that when she was talking about that, Alison met both of her loves, male loves in her life, walking. Her first husband in the Sierra Club, and her second over here at Lake Chabot on a hike.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I need to walk more.
And
She had very powerful legs.
Very strong. Mistletoe today. I asked little boys.
Thank you.
I was teaching them. I said, this is guarantee me a kiss today.
Yeah. Well, she said, you know,
every single
I'm
dog.
on my way.
Every single dog.
Huh?
You wanted your
What?
He was calling her.